The Power of Words, Latin Legends on Roman Coins. This is another topic that I studied about 10 years ago and did a presentation for the history students at Langara College. And of course, that was a very simple version of what I'm going to present today. Mind you, what I'm going to present today is just a fraction of what is available. Just some highlights. This is a huge topic to study and to learn from. Many years ago, I sometimes repeat this story. My apologies if it is a repetition to you as well. Many years ago, when I first read the book God's Graves and Scholars, I felt really bad because they had already completed all the spectacular discoveries of ancient history and archaeology. That was my feeling, and they left nothing to me. But then I started to study coins, and I started to discover. I started to make my own discoveries, and I got hooked. And legends on coins is another topic that was extremely interesting to me. But of course, even though I started as a collector, my interest diverted from collecting to studying. So having coins in my hand means I have a reason, an excuse to start studying. And studying coin legends was a very rewarding, very gratifying in many different ways. So I look at coins and I try to understand what is displayed there and why it is displayed there, and what might the people who handled those coins think or might have thought when they had those coins in their hands. So I just scribbled this list to the question, why legends? Assurance, yes, for the metallic content and the weight of the coin. Somebody needs to assure that it is intact. Legitimization, yes, it is important. Sovereignty, individualism, ethnicism, pride, passing information, political alliance, and many, many other topics that you can come up with. Therefore, studying the Roman coins, I selected some topics to talk about. Imperial and patrician pride for the elite. We see a lot of that, a lot of those on Roman coins. We can infer and have some idea what the plebs, the simple people in the street, thought about them as well, because it is really unfortunate that historians didn't bother to take note of the daily lives of Roman people or people in the Roman world. We focus mostly on emperors, empresses, even usurpers we learn about, but we don't even know about the second or the third person, let alone the people in the street. So by looking at some of the legends, we can ponder into what the simple people, simple Roman people, thought about their country or their empire. And also the main topic, war, economy, and politics, is something that we often see on coins, more often in certain times than other times. But the main, everything boils down to one thing: propaganda. Propaganda of the ruler and what he wants to do, what he achieved, what he wants you to think about who he is and what he has done. Those are the titles that I would like to weigh on when I do this presentation. Coinage came into the Roman world very late. When the Sicilian cities created the most wonderful art, numismatic art on coins, the Romans were handling things like this. They didn't even handle these, but they started using lumps of cast copper or bronze, which was called AS rude at that time. And then they came up with AS signatum, where they had some depictions of some creatures, animals, and then they came up with this AS grave idea. They finally discovered that coins are usually round, and they started to cast round coins. And then finally, one day, they knocked on the doors of their neighbors in the south, and they said, "Hey, I think you know how to make coins. Can you make us some coins?" And sure enough, they got their first proper coins designed and most likely produced by the Greeks down in southern Italy. And in the meantime, they became a war economy. The Roman Republic became a Roman war economy, and they were getting wealthier and wealthier in their new prospect. And they started to design and strike their own coins, which we generally call Roman Republican coinage. As you see, the artistry is distinctively different from the rest of the trials that they went through, especially distinctively different from that of the Greek imitations that they used earlier. And with that, of course, they started to add more and more inscriptions, legends on their coins, albeit very simple at the beginning. So this is another example from Italy, not from Rome, but in Umbria, Hatria, the town, cast these coins with somewhat a legend. Here you see that hat, H-A-T. It's an ass. Look at the weight, 421 grams. On the obverse is the head of Silenus, and on the reverse, a dog lying asleep. And below the dog is H-A-T, that's Hatria, abbreviated. And on the obverse is the value mark. And during the same time, Romans cast AS signatum, and they were most of the time with no legend at all. There was nothing to read on them. But slowly, around the 3rd century BC, they started to at least write Roman on these coins. This is a broken one, but I have a complete one, and the legend can be somewhat read here. So this is one of the earliest Roman currencies with a legend, as you see, quite primitive. During the same time, up in the north, they had their Etruscan neighbors, and they started striking coinage much earlier, and strikingly, they had some incredibly presentable coins, yet not much inscription that you can see. Here is one from late 5th century or early 4th century BC, Populonia in Etruria. As you see, you have a design on the obverse, but nothing on the reverse. In general, when you talk to numismatists, numismatists will say, oh, Etruscan coins are interesting because they only have obverse, not reverse, and no legend. That's not exactly true. There is no legend, but there is something. It's a value mark. Apparently, it means 5, based on studies. And Etruscans did not only strike one-sided coins, and sometimes two-sided coins too. So early on studying ancient numismatics, I learned not to say the first time, never, and the only known. Those are the phrases I refrain from using because they make me prone to be embarrassed eventually. So the material available to us is very limited. And there's so much else out there that we haven't seen or we haven't discovered yet. So this is a good example for that. And the same people, when Romans still used very rough currencies, struck coins quite presentable with their own distinctive art. Later on, we are going to see similar art forms in Celtic coinage, but here is a good example of the Etruscan 3rd century BC coin. On the obverse is what we would call Hermes, but they call them terms. Draped bust wearing winged Pegasus, as you can see here, the wings. There is a crescent behind, but on the reverse is Pupluna. That is the name of the city or state it was struck. And more interestingly, we have a mark of value here, 11. So this is really curious. When the Greek cities or Phoenician cities or many other cultures didn't bother to add a value mark, early Romans and Etruscans did pay attention to indicating the value of the coin. That's really curious. Roman Republic, especially in the 3rd century and more 2nd century, became a war economy. And in a war economy, of course, you have ambitious people. And most of them are patricians. They come from wealthy families. influential people. They become senators, they become consuls, and of course, they are supposed to be good military leaders as well. One of them, or one of the most distinctive ones was Sola. This is a coin for Sola struck by the Monier Manlius Torquatus Proquestor. He was a government official. On the obverse is a military theme. It's, of course, helmeted head of Roma. And on the reverse, we have Triumphator, the one who became triumph in a war, crowned by a flying victory. In quadriga, he is holding the reins, and Caduceus or Caduceus or Caducerion in Greek. So this scene is quite innocent, but it tells us a lot of things. First of all, on the obverse, we see some legend, and it is simply the Monier. That tells us something. The obverse was left for the Monier, not an individual who would claim to be king or anything else, a dictator or someone who would dictate the Roman Republic. It's still a taboo in the Roman Republic. They do not use the living people's depictions, likenesses on coins. And the coins were struck by government officials. Unlike Alexander, who would put his name on his coins as king, Romans at the beginning never used the word king or any authority on the coins that would imply that they are the ruler. That's why the coin carries the name of the Monier. On the reverse, we only see the name of Sola, and he is declared imperator. Imperator didn't mean emperor. It meant a general, a successful, a victorious general. So when we see imp on early coins, it means imperator, but not emperor. What else do we have here, or what's going on here? So Sola emerged during a difficult time. This is many years after the Punic Wars ended. Roman Republic literally became an empire yet to be declared without an emperor, but there were influential imperators or generals who literally acted like emperors without the title. The resistance of the Samnites caused a big trouble. They had to reunite the Italian city-states, and that required a lot of military campaigns. And then, of course, during that time, the Samnites asked for help from Mithridates VI, the Pontus king. And so after subduing the Samnites, Sulla went on to deal with Mithridates. So it's a time of war. And also, previously, there was a rivalry between Marius and Sulla eliminated Marius as well. And by the end of his campaigns in Anatolia and eliminating Mithridates, he came back to Rome victorious. And that time period is usually defined as Regnum Sullanum. So it's a dictatorial era during which he executed his enemies with appalling cruelty. However, interestingly, at some point in 79 BC, he decided to retire, which was very, very unexpected, and he died shortly after. So this is really curious. He worked so hard to gain the power. He used it ruthlessly, and he achieved recognition and acceptance. Yet, when it was least expected, he said, "This is enough." He left. Very smart move on his side. So what do we see here, though? Roman generals, when they gain a victory or an enemy, were given a kind of gift, a parade in Rome when they come back. So this is the scene that we see here. In the quadriga is supposedly Sulla, as the legend here says. He's carrying a caduceus, which is the herald of Hermes, and he's being crowned by a Nike or victory in this case. So it is Sulla's victory parade in Rome. So for the first time, it's not the head of the imperator or likeness of the imperator, but in person, even though it is not clearly declared so, it is one of the earliest examples of a living person depicted on a Roman coin. Of course, from then on, imperators, or being an imperator, was of paramount importance, and Rome had no shortages of ambitious generals. And here is a coin that is very well known by numismatists, but when you look at it first, you might not have any idea. You have a bearded guy with some wreath. Based on the wreath, we can say that it's a king. And on the reverse is a prow of a warship, trident maybe. But let's look at the legends. So Proquestor, CN Piso, and Numa Pompilius, a known king from the good old times of the Roman Republic when it was a kingdom. And on the reverse, we have Magna Procos. Unless you're familiar with this time period, you will not know it, but it is a coin struck for one important Roman general, Pompeius Magnus. We have the moneyer, Calpurnius Piso, and his official position is Proquestor. Again, following the Sullas or earlier tradition, the obverse is reserved for the officials, and history of the Roman people. Numa Populis is one of the early kings of the Romans. And on the reverse, you have Magnum. That is actually, everybody knew that it was Pompeius Magnus. He didn't need to spell out his name. His nickname was enough for people to know that this was a coin for Pompeius Magnus. And his government position, a proconsul. A proconsul was someone who administered a province, a provincial area, not in Rome, but he was a proconsul at that time. And it didn't take very long for someone to dare to put his likeness on the obverse with his name and with his title. So Kaiser, dictator, perpetual. So if Kaiser, dictator, is not enough, he said that he was a dictator indefinitely. And that unfortunately didn't suit well with the rest of the Roman Republic. The patricians, some patricians didn't like that. It's not that they wouldn't want to be in that position, but someone else grabbed the chair, the position, and it didn't work very long. So this coin was struck by Aemilius Bucca, and for the first time, the monier went to the reverse. So the obverse was usually spared for the monier, but here, for the first time, the monier went to the secondary part of the coin, not the primary part. And more importantly, here we see Caesar or Kaiser is wearing a laurel wreath, which is an indication of kingship. Only kings would wear a laurel wreath, or emperors. So these, the depictions and the legends tell us much more than what we see on the coins. This is, of course, a very well-known coin. I just want to show you some contrast between the previous one and this one. This is the guy who opposed Caesar's power grab and get together with some other patricians and assassinated Julius Caesar, Kaiser, and sure enough, he put his own image on his coins at the first chance. So you will say, what a controversy. But look what he did. With his name, Brutus Imperator, he continued using the title of the monitor on the obverse. And on the reverse, we have a propaganda piece, Aedibus Martius. So that is the Ides of March, the day that they assassinated Julius Caesar to save the Roman Republic. Yes. Oh, also, he's, as you see, bareheaded. So actually, a huge propaganda piece here, getting himself depicted as bareheaded rather than with a laurel wreath. The adopted son, the grandnephew of Caesar, Octavian, managed to eliminate all his foes and enemies, and he is the sole, what? He was not a ruler. He was not an emperor. He was nothing. That's what he claimed. He was just the champion of the Roman Republic, but he's paving the path to become something. And this is a very good example of the path that he paved. So this is a Christophorus, a type of coinage fashioned out of Western Asia Minor, struck at Ephesus. We have his laureate head because people in that area are used to seeing laureate heads of kings. That's why he's laureate here. The legend is Imperator Caesar Divi Fili Cos 6 Libertatis Populis Romano Vindex. So look at the date. It is 28 BC, just before he was going to be given a very, very strong epithet title. But he is simply declaring himself something before he returned to Rome and become whatever he had in his mind from the beginning. So what is this? Imperator Caesar Divi Fili Cos 6 Libertatis Populis Romanum Vindex, son of divine Imperator Caesar, 6 times consul, defender of freedom of people of Rome. And on the reverse is the depiction of Pax, peace. She's draped and holding a catecheus, again, bringing good news. Catecheus means, or kerkerion means good news. And the news of Roman Pax is now brought with this coin. However, this is how he had started. But actually, at the beginning, he didn't have anything as a legend, as you see here. When I say at the beginning, it's by the end of the war with Cleopatra the Seventh, and when he defeated all his enemies, he didn't need any legends to identify himself. That's why on this coin we see nothing identifiable. Everybody knew, everybody had to know that it was Octavian. On the reverse, we have him as the son of deified Caesar. But we have Venus. Why do we have Venus here? Because Caesar claimed that his family was a descendant of Venus. So his lineage went all the way to Venus. That's why we have Venus. And interestingly, here Venus is holding a helmet, a war helmet. So the message is very, very clear. It's not a spear that she is holding. It's kind of scepter, but it is going down. And she is leaning on a small pedestal. And her shield is also resting on the pedestal. So the war has ended. Peace has arrived. and we are grateful to our ancestry, and the legacy is displayed on this coin in such way. Right after that, again, it is a design by Octavian. The Roman Senate decided to give him a title that has not been given to any other Roman general or Roman citizen. On this one, we see Caesar, cos 6, civibus or civibus, servatis. Caesar, consul for the 7th time for saving the citizens. Now, this is one of the few series that on which you will see SC, Senatus Consultum. But this doesn't mean that this coin was struck by the Senate. This literally means that these titles, Augustus, this is the first time the title Augustus appears on a coin of Caesar, Octavian, and it means it was awarded by the Senate. One of the greatest achievements of Octavian is that he achieved everything by design of his own, but he never claimed any titles or any positions for himself. It was always given to him by others. And of course, what was given by the Senate was the most valuable and the most important. So he didn't ask for it. He was given that title. Here is another title that he assumed, and he wanted to declare it to a certain group of people. As you can imagine, silver and gold coins could only be handled by a certain group of people. Gold coins, certainly plebeians would not be able to see. Silver coins, soldiers, maybe wealthy citizens, merchants could see, but mostly bronze coins circulated in the hands of the plebeians, the simple, non-slave Roman citizens. On this one, this is a Depondius, the Monier Asinius Gallus. On this one, we have on the obverse Augustus Tribunic Potest in 3 lines. And so what does this mean? Augustus with tribunician power. And what would that mean? It was a title and authority given to Roman emperors, allowing them to act with the powers of a tribune of the plebs, including veto power and legislative influence. In short, an emperor's constitutional authority. This is the first time this title was created, and it was given to Augustus. Again, it was not his design. It was not he asked for it. He was given. But of course, how he was given, we can all guess. By the way, no more dictatorship. Nobody wants to be a dictator anymore. And they just want to be tribune of the plebs. You can imagine their sarcasm behind this. And it's time to rebuild Rome. They say Augustus received Rome built by bricks and left it built with marble. Built with bricks and left built with marble. This is an incredible display of propaganda. This is a statue, actually, of Augustus in front of the city gates. And on the reverse is Kippus inscribed. Let's look at what is written here. SPQR, Imperator Kaiser, quod wa MSX ERPKIS ad aere. So Senatus Populasque Romanus Imperatori Caesari quod viae minitae sunt ex a Buccinea quam is ad aurarium detulit. Quite a legend, and it means the Senate and Roman people to Caesar because the roads have been paved out of the money which he contributed to the treasury. I don't want to doubt about the accuracy of the definition, and most historians agree that Augustus did do a lot of good to Rome. And you can imagine he exploited all the lands the Roman Republic invaded, and he taxed everyone. Tribunes were coming from all around Asia Minor, North Africa, Egypt, and Gaul, and everywhere else. So he was the most wealthiest person of his time. And he had the money to spend. So he helped rebuild the roads. That's not a big deal, you might say, but he still wanted to declare that to the Roman citizens on this coin. Tiberius was not a very well-known emperor because he was a good soldier, that's for sure, and he was not the first choice to receive the Roman Empire from Augustus, but he ended up sitting on the chair. And here is a very interesting coin for him. On the obverse, civitatibus Asiae restitutus. So Tacitus wrote that in the year 770 of Rome, that is AD 17, a number of cities in Asia had been destroyed by an earthquake. 12 of the cities were rebuilt by Tiberius at his own expense. And sure enough, this is what we see on the coin. Simply, Tiberius explains to the Roman people that he restored Asia. And on the reverse, we see his titles. During that time, they came up with this idea to create images that would usually intended to convey a message or suggest a state of being. So you have personifications of that suggestion. Abundantia, abundance. But as you see, abundantia Augustus, that is the abundance the Augustus, the emperor, brings. Alquitas, equity, fair dealing of, again, Augustus. It's not just aequitas, but it is equity, fair dealing of the emperor. Aeternitas, eternity, stability, again, Augustus. And here, annona, corn harvest. Again, you have the emperor. Clementia, mercy of the emperor. Concordia, harmony. You don't have Augustus are here, but again, it's harmony of the Roman emperor. More personifications: Justitia, justice; Fecunditas, fertility; Felicitas, happiness, prosperity. What here, something you have interesting: Felicitas publica, the people's happiness, prosperity. And here we have fides, good faith, confidence. Fides, militium, the good faith and confidence of the military. Fortuna, fortune of the Augustus. And genius, spirit of populus Romanum. So Roman people's spirit is also depicted on a coin. More personifications: Honus, honor of the emperor; Laetitia, joy; Laetitia, porcos, again emperor; Liberalitas, Liberalitas Augustus Imperator. Yes, again the same thing. Libertas, freedom of publica. People's freedom, public freedom. And spes, hope of publica. And finally, victory. Victoria, Augustus's victory. So these coins were each struck for a different Roman emperor between the 1st century AD and the 3rd century AD. As you can see, the messages are quite concurrent and based on propagandistic aspirations. There were the times that there were civil war and a lot of conflicts within the empire, and emperors needed to strike alliance with the military. Good examples here: Vitellius, on the reverse, exertium fides, fides exertium, the fidelity of the armies. Maximinus, first, AD 235, 238. Again, we have fides minutum, fides standing left, holding signum in each end. It is the fidelity of the armies to him. Vespasian, fides publicum. This is really interesting. He does have coins with fides exertium or militum, but he, on this one, interestingly, claims that he has the support of the public. And another one from the time of Antoninus Pius. This is, in this case, fides standing, as you see here, holding a basket of fruit and grain ears. That is the safety and fidelity the emperor provided to the Roman people. Salus generis humani, salvation or welfare of the human race. And look who struck this coin. It is an anonymous coin. We don't know who did that, but of course, it was done by the Roman Senate, because on the reverse, we see clearly it is SBQR. But the message here on the obverse is Salus generis humani, health and stability were delivered to the human race. Not only the Roman people, but quite an ambitious claim, human race. The first tax remission was also declared on a coin. Augustus had imposed a tax of 1 denarius in 100 on all sales, the first GST I say. Tiberius had reduced the tax to 1 denarius on 200, AD 17, but in the year 39, the whole tax was taken off by Caligula. So here, Caius Caesar, Divi Augustus, Pron Augustus, and on the reverse, Pontifex Maximus, Tribunius Publicia Potestas, and Cos des 3, Consul Designatus, elected, and RCC. So remissa ducentesima, removal of 1 of 200. And CC, 200 double C ducentesima in Latin. So Caligula struck in AD 39, it's a quadrans, a very small coin. It can tell you who the emperor is addressing to here. And you have Pileus between Senatus Consultum. And the removal of this burden on the people is symbolized by the Pileus, cap of freedom. This is another propaganda piece, but well worthy of depicting on a coin, on a sestertius. It's a coin of Hadrian. On the obverse is his heroic bust. On the reverse, we have 3 Roman people, plebs most likely. And then we have a lictor here. And he is burning some, a heap of papers here. So it was a time when the Roman people owed a lot of money to the state. And the emperor decided to, voluntarily decided to remit to his subjects all the debts owing to his treasury on account of tributes, revenues, or other debts amounting to an immense sum of money, and that he caused the notes and bonds relating to the errors to be burned in the form of treason. It's incredible initiative by the emperor. So the legend says, reliqua vetera es novies mil, that is 9 times 1,000 sestertii, that's 9 million coins, abolita. Here is another propaganda piece by someone who was never a military person, Caius Caesar Divi Augustus Pron Augustus PMTRP 4 PP. Divi Augusti Pronepos Augustus, great-grandson of Divius Augustus Augustus. Pontifex Maximus, the high priest, and Tribunicia Potesta te 4, that is tribunician power for the 4th time. And he is addressing the military, ablocutoio cohortium. Again, he had nothing to do with the army. He ran some campaigns and ridiculed both the military and himself. Yet here is a propaganda piece by him. So this story is very well known when he took his army to the shore of the Atlantic Ocean to start a campaign against Britain, and the troops were ordered to fill their helmets with shells on the Gallic shore as the spoils of the ocean, and he returned. And here we see no SC, Senatus Consultum, because these coins are thought to have been special distribution issue for the Praetorian Guard funded out of the emperor's own purse. So another interesting propaganda piece. Then is an example for Claudius. It's an aureus and a Roman mint. On the obverse, we see his head. On the reverse, we have XSC by a decree of the Senate on account of citizens, servatus, preserver. So a decree of the Senate bestowed for having saved the lives of citizens. When did he do that? Why did he do that? Why did the Senate give him this honor? Is another topic to be investigated. And on the obverse, his usual titles. This is another interesting propaganda piece that we had not seen before. It's a coin of Titus. On the obverse is his laureate head. On the reverse is Bonus Eventus, standing left, holding patera in his right hand, and grain ears and poppy in his left. What is the significance? Here is the title. Here, Bonus Eventus Augusti. That is, Bonus Eventus, it represents anything that is good and successful. So the emperor simply says that he is what you would consider something turned out well and successful. Titus completed the construction of Amphitheatrum Flavium, that is also known as Colosseum, and generously relieved the suffering caused by two disasters, the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in AD 79 and a fire in Rome in AD. After barely 2 years in office, Titus died of a fever on 13 September 81. A short-lived success. Roman coins, I would call the newspaper of its time, and Trajan was one of the pompous emperors of his time, and he usually had all his titles inscribed on his coins. Imperator Traiano Augustus Germanicus Dacicus, Pontifex Maximus, Turbinicia Potestas, consul for the 5th time, Pater Patriae, the father of his country. So Supreme Commander Trajan, victor over the Germans and Dacians, high priest, tribune of the people, consul for the 5th time, father of the country. And on the reverse, the propaganda continues, or aggrandization continues. SPQR, Senatus Populescu Romano, optimi principi. So he is the optimal, the highest youth of the people of Rome. And here is the longest legend that I could find. 52 plus 44 letters on both sides. Imperator Caesar Nero Traiano Optimo Augustus Germanicus Dacicus Partico Pontifex Maximus Turbinicia Potestea. You can only go this far. And then Armenia et Mesopotamia in potestatem and PR redacta SC. So Armenia and Mesopotamia placed under the control of the Roman people. The short-lived capture of Armenia and Mesopotamia, the moment of the Roman Empire's greatest territorial expansion, was declared on this coin. Empresses were not left out. Faustina Jr. Gave quite a few children to her husband. And on this coin, we have Fecund Augusta, fertility of the empress, holding 2 kids in her arms and 2 others on each side. The fertility of the empress in their 30 years of marriage She bore 13 children, apparently. Here is Aureus for Septimius Severus. His usual title on the obverse, but on the reverse, we have Radiate and Dread bust of Sol, and he claims he is Pacator Orbis, pacifier of the earth. Means he pacified, eliminated all his foes, and he brought peace. And another family advertisement here, Facilitas Saacuri. On the reverse, the wife and 2 sons, and felicity of their age. Here is one of the last slides here, a usurper, Regalianus. It's a very rough coin, as you can see here. Carnuntum, somewhere in Austria, in modern Austria. His soldiers proclaimed him emperor, and immediately he struck coins. And on the coins, on the reverse, he has Sol standing left, raising right hand, and holding whip in his left hand. But the legend here, Oriens Augustus, the rising Augustus. I think it's a good message. He did his very best to give a message, but it didn't last very long. And finally, Roman mint was not immune to mistakes. Here is a coin from the Emesa mint. Mind you, you can say it's not the Roman capital mint. And it came with spelling error. Julia Domna. It is supposed to be Iovlia Domna. It was written as Julia Domna, as they read it most likely. I have these references that I can recommend to read to learn more about coin inscriptions. But of course, individual study and research will be important. But I like a dictionary of Roman coins by Seth Stevenson. It's a very old book, but a very, very valuable reference. John Melville John's A Dictionary of Ancient Roman Coins is also very valuable. I learned a lot. Every now and then I pick it up and just flip through the pages and continue to learn. Stuart Westall's Dictionary of Roman Coin Inscriptions is interesting, but there's no, he just lists the inscriptions. It might sound the most relevant reference, but it doesn't give you the meaning of the inscriptions, just lists the inscriptions. And Roman Coins by Sutherland is a major reference book that I would recommend to everyone. And Roman imperial coins, their art and technique by Laura Braglia is interesting because she picked up certain coins and explained the art and technique on the obverse and reverse, and sometimes she weighed on the inscriptions as well. Thank you.